Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Diablo 3. My name is Wilfred. So today let's do something a little bit different. I've been playing the Wizard on the non-season server these days, and I'd like to share with you why I do that. But before that, thank you for some of you who observe from my website that I've hit my head onto the ground and there's been a bit of wound here. Right, I think I'm healing quite okay. Nothing too serious, just some sort of like scratches here and there when yeah, it was a long story in my website anyway. So I'm doing all right now, thank you. And the web camera is on for you guys. So sometimes I do turn off the camera because it was like there's kind of bandage over there. But yeah, now everything is fine. So interestingly, I've been today I think I've started playing the Wizard in the non-season server, and I do it for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that I found the live server, the season server, is kind of like sluggish. There's a lot of lag to it. I wasn't sure if it was my network problem or what have you. So I've done it. What I've done is that I've switched between the season 21 server and the live server, the non-season server, and I must say that in the live server, in the non-season server, it's very smooth. Like my latency is has been below 200 ms. From where I am, I'm from Singapore, connecting to the US server, less than 200 milliseconds. It's a reasonable kind of like a response time, I must say. And so I kind of like, okay, that's good. But then when I go back to the season 21 server, I don't know what happened to it, but the latency was really terrible. It could go as bad as, usually it's about 300 to 600 milliseconds, so that's quite bad. And then it could spike up to say 1000 to 3000 milliseconds, and it's kind of unplayable as well. And I don't know what happened. Could be more people playing in the season 21 server, or the season theme is just too taxing for the server. It's kind of disappointing because, look, I think you and I know that this season theme is a failure. There's nothing really added to the game. It's all by chance and random that things that spawn may or may not work. You don't even know or feel any difference when there is a buff that comes up out of nowhere. So it is a failure, unfortunately, and also something that we have to put up with. All the extra lag perhaps is due to this season theme of season 21. Now, another reason why I wanted to do the Wizard in a live server and a non-season server is because both new set, meaning the Wizard's Typhon set, as well as the Necromancer Masquerade of the Burning Carnival, both are kind of like underwhelming set. And in the last season, everybody was not happy with the Wizard Typhon set, and they found that the Witch Doctor is a lot better. And in this video, I like you to take a look at the difference between the two. So you've seen a clip on the Wizard, right, Typhon set, versus this Necromancer, the Masquerade of the Burning Carnival, which rely on the Necromancer deal damage through Bone Spear or what have you. And then also the simulacrum design, and you can see that probably observe a little bit of the attack, like which target get attacked, and and where are the simulacrum and so on and so forth. You can probably derive why it's so. Now you could say that, well, it's unfair to compare the non-season to season. Well, yes and no. The discrepancies between the season and non-season for my account is not that great. I'm not a power player. Usually I stop at close to 1000 Paragon. And then I'll call it a day. For the season, so my non-season is about 1007 Paragon point. My season is for this Necromancer is 1000 Paragon point. So yes, there's a discrepancy of 700 Paragon point. Yes, it does make a difference somehow because of the extra Paragon points that one has. Gear-wise, they're somewhat quite similar. I think my Necromancer has a better fixes range because I put a lot of effort gearing and crafting. For a really good piece of gear. Even ancient is not good enough for me for Necromancer. I go for like good ancient with the good range. Like I throw away ancient that is like below 50%, kind of like intelligent kind of range. I have to get to the more than 50% to 100% kind of range. That is how hard I gear this season for the Necromancer. And the gear and the legendary dam augmentation for my Necromancer, every dam is like more than 100, right? So compared to my Typhon set, it's like some are 80, some are 90, some are 100, and that's about it. But for Necromancer, I put all the effort there, like really big effort there. So as you can see, you can say, well, it's kind of like is apple to orange, but not quite so. And also don't forget, in the season server, there's season buff. So now, season buff is something that supposed to make your character, or at least the encounter, more enjoyable or more powerful. And every season bring in a buff whereby you are just more powerful in doing things, be it kill streak, or you can mix around with all the weapon and offhand, what have you. So it is rather comparable. So your verdict here will be twofold, right? Is that how good the two new sets are, or which one is worst, and also how significant the season buff is, which the answer is none. No, none. I mean, basically it's just not significant. If anything else, it blocked the whole screen because of all the whirlwind that it come up. You don't even know whether it's a Guardian whirlwind or your own whirlwind, right? Because your own whirlwind, you can just sit on it. A Guardian whirlwind, you have to avoid it, right? And then you have all this poison on the ground that could be yours, could be theirs, and basically just a whole mess. And suddenly the screen will turn dark. You can't even see what's happening. And then worse come to worse, suddenly there's a server lag because of all this effect and whatnot. And then after that, the character just died, whatever, because it's just like lagged out, right? I was there. So that is the my frustration with it. And when I played the non-season server for my wizard, man, I was having fun. I was having a lot of fun with how effortlessly to do 105. Now 105 is not high at all. In today's standard, 150 is where everybody is going for. If you have a decent number of amount of Paragon point, a decent kind of gear that you invest in, skill and so on. 145 to 150 is what people aim for, right? For the leaderboard and so on, season on season. But so 105 is supposed to be effortless, supposed to be an enjoyable kind of journey and adventure. But no, I mean, for Necromancer, as you can see, the problem with the Necromancer are two things. Well, there's many things here, right? Bone Sphere has a very, very, very small hitbox. You may or may not hit something, and that is very true. And what you can control, meaning the direction of your Bone Sphere, is your own Necromancer's one. And guess what? It's its lowest DPS. The design of the new set, right, dictate the Simulacrum does 3 times more damage than the Necromancer herself for each Simulacrum. So you are only dealing 1/7 of the damage that you can aim. The rest of it, as you can see, the rest of Simulacrum are everywhere. They're like sometimes at one end of the map, another end of the map. And sometimes like this one, it does go together with you, and then it all branch out as well. And then what you are aiming for is the lowest DPS. What you are relying is what the Simulacrum try to hit outside your direction, and then you just go by luck. Because if the direction is good, then you hit something good. If the direction is no good, then it's pretty bad. But for single target, it's pretty alright. Like this one here, single target, because it does converge into one thing. Like here is it go everywhere, right? You can see. So it is by chance, and then you can go back to a clip that if you are upslope, downslope, forget about it. You won't hit anything. May or may not hit anything. So I mean, Necromancer has a lot of problem to it, and I'll do another video on what I think that could kind of improve on Necromancer. And you could go back to Wizard, and it was like, man, a Wizard Typhon set, when I played the season 20, I did not mix around the weapon offhand. I could have done that, make it higher, but it wasn't a point because I already had a lot of fun with the High Rift, with the Mundunugu set of the Witch Doctor last season. So last season I did not use the season buff. I just want to see how good or bad the Typhon set is. And well, I mean, it is still very underwhelming. Don't get me wrong. The Typhon set is still way kind of compared to other set that they have in the Wizard card arena. But compare to the Necromancer set, man, I mean, it is so much smoother, effortless, and more fun, I would say. Well, I mean, more consistent. Necromancer could have been fun though, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of fun trying to get to squeeze every performance out from it, but all in all, it's just coupled with the lack of the server, it just makes it a lot harder to enjoy the Necromancer experience. So I don't know, I mean, I will still push as far as I can. And the one thing interesting, well, not interesting, one find I've got from Necromancer is that sometimes it doesn't even matter what kind of a passive I pick, what kind of cube I pick. It is just a spad. And the other thing that you want to pay attention to is that when you play a wizard, GR105 the range is kind of like, it's quite consistent because you got good map, you got bad map. But all in all, it's about like 6-ish minute to 5.5 minute or 5 minutes or so for 105. Decent timing. It's farming. But if you play a Necromancer, Masquerade of the Burning Carnival, regardless of how I swap all the passive and then keep and so on and so forth, the timing for 105 ranges from less than 9 minutes to close to 13 minutes. And that's a really large range. And they said a lot about the set kind of like design and so on. So, but anyway, I hope all this insight is kind of useful, or at least kind of fun to watch. And I'll do a little bit more for this season for you guys. All right, see you next time. Goodbye.